Welcome to Reality Math. Students always fail these probability questions every year. Stay tuned to the end to identify the key ideas behind these probability questions. Thank you. For the first question, a survey conducted revealed that 5 out of 20 teachers in a school are internet literate. If 5 teachers are selected at random, calculate to 2 decimal places the probability that A, that exactly 3 are internet literate. B, that more than 40% are internet literate. C, at least 4 are internet literate. Alright, so let's get into this specific type of question. So for this set of questions, anytime you see a question like this, for you to identify that it is what? A binomial distribution question or a binomial probability question, you first identify that it must first fulfill these 4 axioms. Beans. Okay. So for beans, it means that each trial must be by. It's either you are a success or you are a failure. Let's consider 5 out of 20 teachers are in a school are internet literate. Alright. So if 5 teachers are selected at random, so within this set of teachers, which are 20 teachers, if any teacher is selected, it's either you are internet literate or you are not an internet literate. So we can say that this is fulfilled. So we can see that there is a by here. It's either you are, this is binary, it's either you are an internet literate or you are not. It's either you are a success or you are not a success. Then secondly, it must be what? An independent event or independent probability. What this means is that the selection of the second and the third or the fourth does not totally depend on the previous one. So for this, the question fully clears out this. So this we identify that it is not what? It is not a dependent event. It is rather an independent event. Okay, so 4, there must be what? A fixed selection or a fixed number of selection of these participants. So we can see that 5 out of, we can see here that 5 out of 20, and this is fixed for all. So we identify that there is a specific number of selection. This is n, and it is true for n as well. Then we look at S. For S, it means that the probability of success is true for all elements. And this is true, for we identify that for you to be what? The probability for you to be an internet literate, this is what? 5 out of 20. And that is true for all cases, which is 1/4 or 0.25. And this is true for all cases. So we identify here that there is what? The same probability of success for all or each trial. So our question has fully fulfilled the 4 axioms or the beans. Then we can now approach this question with what? A binomial probability approach. Okay, let's proceed with the first one. Okay, that exactly 3 are internet literate. So over here first, let what? P be equal to a success. So we let P be equal to success. Then let's let our Q be equal to what? Failure. So it's either you're an internet literate, which is what? A success, or you are not, which means that you are a failure. Then for you to be an internet literate, the probability of getting that is what? The P here is equal to what? 5 out of 20. And this 5 out of 20 is 1/4. And that is the same as 0.25. Okay, what about the failure? So for the failure, which is my Q, for the Q will be 1 out of what? 1 out of Q, 1 minus Q, sorry. So that is going to be 1 minus Q. Sorry, 1 minus P. This is 1 minus what? The success. That gives me what? The failure. 1 minus P. And this is the same as what? 1 minus 0.25. And that is going to give me 0.75. Okay, so we have what? We have actually found the probability of what? Failure. So let's look at what? The formula for the binomial probability. So for the binomial probability, we are having that we have the probability of what? Let's say our x equal to some small x. This is equal to what? N combination our x of what? Our success to the power x times our failure to n minus x. Okay, so if you put it into this formula, then we satisfy our binomial probability, or we fully get our final answer. So for the first question, we have been asked to find what? Exactly 3. Calculate to 2 decimal places the probability that exactly 3 are internet literate. So we are looking for what? Exactly 3 are internet literate. So we can see the probability of x. So here, my x over here is going to be what? 3. So this means that 3 out of what? The total 5 that has been selected. And this is going to be 5 combination. This 3 times my success, which is what? Times 0.25 times 0.25, and this is to the power 3. This is times the failure, 0.75 times what? 5 minus 3. Okay, so let's see this. 5 combination 3, this should give you 10 times 0.25 to the power 3, 0.25 to the power 3, this should give you 0.015625, 0.015625. This is 0.75 squared. This is 0.5625, 0.5625. All right, so let's see what this will give us totally. This should give us 0.08789, and this is approximately, since we are being requested to leave it in 2 decimal places, our final answer is 0.09. Okay, so this is the probability of choosing exactly 3, or exactly 3 are internet literate. Alright, so let's look at more than 40% are internet literate. The question is saying more than 40%. So it's more than 40% of what? These 5 teachers that are being selected. So out of these 5 teachers that are selected, we are looking for what? More than 40% of these 5 teachers that are internet literate. So we look at what? This is B. So we are looking at what? More than what? 40%. So this more than 40% is going to be 40 over 100 times what? Our 5. Okay. And if you check this, this is going to give you, this is 2, 5 is instead of 1, 5 into 10, this is 2. So 4 over 2, this is the same as 2. But we are looking at the probability of what? More than 40% are internet literate. So this is going to be probability of my S greater than or equal to, no more than, so strictly greater than 2. All right, so this is going to be probability of what? X to be 3 plus the probability of our X to be what? 4 plus the probability of X to be equal to 3 plus the probability of X to be equal to 5. Because the question says that more than 40%. So since it's more than, the 2 itself is not part, so 3, 4, and 5. So we find the sum of all that. So we already got what's probability of X to be equal to 3. Let's look at what probability of X to be equal to 4. Getting that? This probability of X to be equal to 4. This is going to be equal to, this is 4 combination, no, this is 5. Alright, combination 4 times my success 0.25. This is to the power 4 times 0.75 to the power 5 minus 4. This is 5 minus 4, which is 1. And that is going to give us what? R5 combination 4. This should result in, alright, so this is a good, should result in 4 times 0.25 to the power 4. This is 0.000039 06. Alright, and this is times 0.75 to the power 1. This is the same as 0.75. Alright, so when we find the product of these 3 terms, we should have 0.01464, 0.01464, So, okay. Now let's also look at the probability of X to be equal to 5. All right. And well, let's see what this is going to give me. This is same as 5 combination 5 of my 0.25 to the power 5 times 0.75. This is to the power, this 5 minus 5, all right, which is the same as 0. So 5 combination 5 is 1, and this is what? 0 times 0.25 to the power 5. Okay, let's see what this gives us. 0.25 to the power 5 is 0.000976. 0.000976. And this is times what? This is times 1. So we can see that approximately this is going to give us 0.000976. So to 2, that no. Okay, so let's look at what. So this is also leaving us at what? 0.00976. So we are interested in probability of what? X greater than 2, which is probability of x equals 3 plus the probability of x equals 4 plus the probability of x equals what? 5. So we find the sum of all this, and that is going to be, for already we know that of what? X to be equal to 3, that is 0.08789. So x greater than this greater than 2, this is going to leave you with 0.08789 plus 0.014648 plus 0.000979766. Okay, so this is the probability of x greater than 2. This is going to be equal to 0.1035 0.1035 plus 0.1035 or 35156. So to 2 decimal places, we are going to get what? To 2 decimal places, 0.10. So this leaves us the answer to the second question. Now, at least 4 are internet literate. So for at least 4 are internet literate, this is what? For at least 4 are internet literate, that is going to be what? Starting from 4, the at least is 4. The probability of x to be equal to 4 plus the probability of x to be equal to what? 5. And that is going to give us what? Probability of our x greater than or equal to 4. What is the probability of x equals 4? It has been stated earlier, that is 0.014648. But first, we have to still put it in there. So this is just going to give us what? Probability of x equals 4 first, and that is going to be 5 combination 4 times 0.25 times what? This is 4 times 0.75 to the power 5 minus 4. And we know that that is giving us what we had earlier. Okay, what we had earlier here. This is 0.14648. 0.14648. Then we also look at what? This is plus the same thing here. 5. This is plus 5 combination 4 of 5 times 0.25 times 5 times 0.75 to the power 0. This is 5 minus 5. Okay. And we know that that is going to give us what we had here, 0.0009766. 0.0009766. And what is that? That is going to give us, so let's see what that is going to give us. 0.14648 plus 0.0009766. So this is going to give us 0 point, so 0 0.147, 0 0.147,376. So approximately to 2 decimal places, 0.15. Alright, to have the answer to the last question, this is in a school, 45% of the students speak French. 4 students are selected at random from the school. Find the probability that A or I, half of the students speak French, B or I at most 2 speak French. This video shall be released in the next video. Stay tuned.